One of the biggest websites in the investment space has just labeled XRP one of the cryptos that is absolutely going to crush everything in 2022. Yep, that's right. With everything else going on in cryptocurrency right now, including the case of Ripple versus the SEC, this huge investment website is going all in on XRP. So in this video, I'm going to tell you about what they said. And speaking of the Ripple versus the SEC case, there is now a video of Jay Clayton in 2018 basically throwing William Hinman under the bus. Not specifically, but in this video, he's talking about the Ethereum free pass speech that William Hinman gave. But I'm going to tell you what they actually said in order to throw William Hinman under the bus, and what that could mean for the rest of this Ripple case. Speaking of throwing people under the bus, the IMF has had some harsh words for El Salvador and their adoption of Bitcoin. So I'm going to tell you about what they just said and what they recommend El Salvador should do instead of using Bitcoin as legal tender. Hey everyone, my name is Randy. Welcome back to the Late Night Grind, and right now I'm covering the Ripple versus the SEC case, as well as other cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any or all those topics interest you, make sure you hit the subscribe button, join the Late Night Grind community, and don't forget to hit that bell notification icon so YouTube will send you a notification when I send out a new video. And if you're feeling generous, I'd really appreciate it if you do two things. You know what to do. Smash the thumbs up button, watch this video all the way to the end. Those really are the two best things you can do to support a YouTube channel. So if you do that, I greatly appreciate it. Alright guys, let's jump into it. So the first thing I want to actually talk about is Bitcoin, and specifically what the IMF just came out and said, which there was an article that was posted earlier today that said the IMF is not too happy with El Salvador adopting Bitcoin as a legal tender. They specifically said El Salvador should actually walk that back and no longer accept Bitcoin as legal tender. And here's the reasons why. Because they said doing that will cause financial instability, and it will undermine the country's integrity and consumer protection. Now that's really interesting, because using a transparent, permissionless, censor-resistant ledger literally provides stability and integrity and consumer protections from things like, oh, I don't know, money printers. Because let's face it, it's not like fiat currency has been doing that country any favors. Now the IMF saying this is really no surprise, because the IMF is deathly afraid of anything that they can't control and manipulate. They're also afraid that several other countries may follow suit this year in adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. I've made mention of it several times on my video, because there are one or two South and Central American countries, as well as a few in Eastern Europe, that are considering Bitcoin regulation in order to make it legal tender. And if those dominoes start to fall, you can watch out, because those are the types of things that the IMF does not want to happen. And now moving on to the Ripple case versus the SEC. There's now a video of Jay Clayton, who was the head of the SEC at the time when the SEC decided to file suit against Ripple. He actually filed it on his last day in office and then proceeded to retire. Well, there was now a video on Twitter making the rounds of him in 2018 saying that William Hinman's Ethereum free speech pass was essentially guidance that we use in order to figure out how to regulate digital assets. Now, this is just another nail in the coffin that shows the SEC trying to speak out both sides of their mouth. Because Jay Clayton specifically says we and our, talking about how they actually come up with decisions. But then again, the SEC also says with their filings that it was just William Hinman's opinion. And William Hinman himself, while under oath being deposed by Ripple, said it was just his opinion. There are now multiple clear sources of the SEC trying to play both sides of this coin, and they're absolutely going to lose. So if you watched my last video, I mentioned how Judge Netburn did grant the SEC that extra time, that they wanted to object to her opinion being that William Hinman's speech was in fact an opinion, and that it is accepted as such. But remember, she only did that because the SEC cannot go back and appeal the decision. She wants something that's bulletproof. She wants her decision to stick. So regarding this case in William Hinman, there's kind of a crossroads here, because now it looks like William Hinman either A, lied under oath, in which he is then guilty of perjury, in which he is in serious trouble, and not only that, the SEC actually knew it and is doubling down by saying this is guidance, it wasn't his opinion at all. So is the SEC actually throwing William Hinman under the bus, making him the scapegoat while the SEC continues to try to fight this case? And even if he is guilty of perjury, do you think anything will actually happen to him? Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think may or may not happen to William Hinman, because we can clearly see that what he said under oath was definitely not the truth. Now, if we look at my topics for this video, looking at the IMF and how they're concerned about El Salvador's use of Bitcoin as legal tender, they're afraid of other countries adopting Bitcoin. To me, that's a very bullish signal for Bitcoin. And if we look at the case for Ripple versus the SEC, the judge actually allowing the SEC to dispute this is actually very bullish, because by doing this, she won't let them appeal. And I don't believe either her or Judge Torres are actually going to reverse it and call the speech guidance rather than his personal opinion. That way Ripple can get its hands on all of these emails surrounding that speech. So for Ripple, that is very bullish. Speaking of more bullish news, The Motley Fool, which is one of the biggest investment guidance websites on all of the internet, they have tons of articles out there, banking, investing, all kinds of things. They recently, just a couple of days ago, put up an article specifically saying XRP is literally one of their top, they called it a stock, is literally one of their top stocks or assets to purchase, or at the very least watch, in 2022. So the writer Anders Byland, who's actually a contributor to The Motley Fool, was specifically citing a whole bunch of really bullish news for Bitcoin. He cited the growth of the ODL, the on-demand liquidity system. He cited how the price of XRP is essentially artificially suppressed, and it's been so for the past year compared to other digital assets, or as he called it, an artificial discount. But he also points to the fact that experts are now believing Ripple will win this case versus the SEC pretty handily, in that it will probably come pretty soon. Didn't really talk much about whether it will come through a settlement or whether they will actually win in trial, but nonetheless, he is a believer that Ripple's going to absolutely win this case. And some of these are the reason why he actually put this at the top of the list. In fact, he's so bullish on XRP, he actually put the title of the article as XRP, which is the heart of the Ripple payment system, is poised to crush the market in 2022. He says it will outperform Bitcoin, it will outperform Ethereum, it will outperform literally every other altcoin. So the Motley Fool, this huge investment guidance company, is very bullish on XRP. If you're an XRP holder, that's some good news. So if you want to follow with that story or any of the other stories that I covered in this video, make sure you hit the subscribe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, join the Late Night Grind community. And if you are new to this community, go ahead and check out the community tab. I put up polls up there on a weekly, sometimes a daily basis, just to get your guys' thoughts and opinions on what's going on with the Ripple versus the SEC case, the cryptocurrency markets, the cryptocurrency crashes, the rebound, some of the technical analysis that I talk about, the on-chain analysis, and what is or isn't going to happen with Bitcoin this year. In any case, it's going to be a crazy wild ride for crypto and the digital asset space in 2022, when you have government regulations, when you have entire countries wanting to make it legal tender, or we're banning it altogether. It's going to be one interesting year. So make sure you subscribe. We're going to talk about this stuff all year long. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end, for giving it a big thumbs up, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.